What's going on YouTube? It's Brayzon back here with another video for you guys. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you guys want to hit a like down below, subscribe if you guys are new here, and leave a comment letting me know you subscribe so I can welcome you to the family. And that being said, cue intro. What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Madden 20 video for you guys here today. I'm going to be going over the top 10 plays I use out of the West Coast offense, 5 run plays, 5 pass plays, and let's just get right into it. I'm going to start with the run plays, show you guys how they work, why I like them, and just a disclaimer, these aren't going to all be one play touchdowns, whether it's a run or a pass. This is just my preference on plays to get yardage. It's everyone's preference. They can do what they want. Some people only want cheese one play touchdowns. Some people just like to be able to consistently move the ball. That's the way I feel that I like to play, because if people do counter the one play touchdowns, then you pretty much have nothing if you don't know how to just run the ball or, play without, having a cheese play. So first up is going to be out of the near close flex, and it's either going to be fullback dive or fullback dive weak. So you can pretty much run these together. For the base of this, we'll just run 4-3. And I know a lot of people run cover 4 drop, so we'll just play that. Let's just move the ball back real quick so that I don't have to move it on the pass plays. So it's a pretty simple play. Once again, this isn't a play where you want to get a touchdown every play. But, just the fullback dive out of this, you're going to get yards every time. It depends how they play it. A lot of times people don't know how to play this formation, so they don't just base align like they're doing right here. But as you can see, you can get an easy 6-7 yards, especially on that cutback right there. I'm not even really the best runner, to be completely honest, so I'm not that great with actually knowledge of when to turbo and things like that. That's just a great block shed right there. But if we just see it, there's always somewhat of a hole to get 2-3 yards. This is really a third down play. Pretty much when you need, if you're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, you can do it. It really depends. I don't know if there's a difference with play Ultimate Team with block shedding and stuff statistically, or if it's just how good your line is. But if you have a good line, you should be good at getting some yards. Like I said, it's not a touchdown play, but it's definitely a consistent play. I'll run it, maybe 5 times a game, depending on the motions and things like that. I'll switch it up. It depends on, I won't run this motion. Usually I'll run the halfback dive weak, but just for the sake of it, as you see, that corner goes out, so the blocking is a little bit different. And you see Gurley came back in there to hit that block right there. So next up, I'm going to show you guys another play, and it's going to be out of the strong close. This one's a pretty common play. It's going to be strong close, and then off tackle formation will run cover 4 again. And obviously, if they're running different defenses, it's going to be different. So right here, off tackle, you could either get up or go outside. It really depends on, how they play it. Right there, they're kind of setting the edge. So it's making it a little bit harder to get outside, so I'll just cut up. But people do play it different. A lot of times people will spread their line. It'll shift it all the way to that side, and then you'll have a bigger hole right here. And really you just need to break one tackle if someone picks up that corner. What you could also do out of this play is I'll grab my fullback, which is Everett, which technically we don't have a fullback. And then he'll come block. So as you see, they move, and then he'll come block that guy and kind of set you an edge. So if people pick up the blocks, this play has a lot of yardage. Obviously, people aren't really picking up the blocks right now, so not much we can do. Like I said, I'm not really the greatest of runners. It does work. This is my first play that I'll run every single game, just to see if I can get yards. And Gurley's not that fast. This Hicks guy is chasing him down, so pretty much that's a good play. Like I said, it's my first play I'll run every game. The only problem with this play is you can't flip it. You can flip it, but you can't flip the run. So if it's not going to work. If it's not there, you might just have to audible out of it, which you could just run out of it. Next up is going to be either the HB dive alert or the stretch alert out of the I-form slot. Just for the sake of it, I will run the dive alert. I think it's a little bit better because a lot of people will think you're running the stretch, so they'll shift over there and then the inside will be wide open. And the reason this one's good is because you also have the RPO bubble, depending on how they play it. So if they're a team that's running a base defense, base align cover 4, right now, obviously that linebacker's over Woods over there on circle. But a lot of times people base the line out of the 3-4. So if that guy comes down, see, that's just a great block shed. I mean, there's really nothing you can do on that. I don't know what my guy is doing. But if this guy runs in, then you have a good hole right there. And apparently these linemen suck for the Rams. I probably should have chose a better running team. I thought the Rams would be good, to be honest. But as you see, once you get the hole, It's pretty easy. And then it also takes a linebacker out of it. So either he's going to come in. I'm just going to throw it for the sake of it. You could throw it. Obviously, I still got yardage. But if he blitzes and you see him coming in 2 steps, that's when you really want to throw it, which obviously he's not doing it right now. But when he does that, that's when you really want to throw it. So pretty good play. That's probably number 3 on one of the plays that I like to run. Next up is going to be out of I-form again. I-form I like just because you get that fullback, but it's going to be out of a different formation. So it's I-form tight stretch. And I really like this play because you can flip it. So that's what I like about this play compared to other. So depending on how they play it, you can flip it. As you see, stretch, it works pretty well. Get off of me. You know, you could run it to the side of the Cooks. You can run it away from Cooks depending on how they shift. And like I said, all these plays aren't one-play touchdowns necessarily. Obviously, it depends how they play. When there is a user on the field, it makes it kind of easier because there's one person that you could like have a user error. When they don't have a user, it kind of makes it harder because you can't do the little wiggles and things like that that are good in this game. But there's different things you can do with it. You can motion Cooks and hike it as he motions in. You could, ankles. You could motion him across and then hike it. So what you can do is you can continue to switch people up. The great thing about this formation in this place is pretty balanced besides Cook, so you can motion them and then still hike it this way. If they shift, if you see them running or shifting to the other side, or in the same thing, you can shift, you can motion them and then flip the run. So then as soon as he stops, you see it's not man, comes over here, boom, hike it, and you have Cooks as an extra blocker. And he'll pretty much set the edge for you, as you see. Like that makes a huge difference. You can't shift them and run the same way every time because obviously they will try to adjust. Like I said, you could bring him in just to kind of crack block and hike it so that he gets closer in. On the same side, he doesn't block as good off the bat. He blocks better when you motion him to the other side. But either way, good play for number 4. And then number 5 will be coming out of a single back. I try to not show you guys too many plays that are super, super generic. So this one, I'll try to show you guys one that I run that's not super generic. Obviously, you know, single back I like because I think that you run pretty well in it. And it really depends on the play though. So I don't like plunge. I don't like blunt dives. You want the halfback dive or you want a zone alert bubble. So single back spread and single back doubles wide open, it kind of change off. They look like kind of the same formations. People a lot of times don't realize the difference. But for this, we'll just run the dive since you could either run that bubble on cup or you can just run the straight dive play. And if they base a line, that bubble play is wide open. So obviously they're not base aligning right now, so this dive would work better. But if they are base aligning, and my team's just getting block shed, so apparently they have no blocking on this line. And you could switch it, so that's the thing too. You switch it, it doesn't really change much. I mean, it looks like it changes the formation, but like people won't really be able to notice it that much. And then you still can run the zone, and then you have that bubble. So that's the good thing about this formation, about the single back and things like this is you can run single back spreads, and then you can even go to pistol gun. You could run pretty much any formation out of the single back with who they have on the field. So you could continue to switch and just look for dives. So like I said, if you want to go doubles flex, so then you could bring this Higbee in and run the dive. So pretty much a dive out of single back doubles is pretty good. It's pretty balanced. It really depends, like I said, on your line and how many yards you need. Obviously, these aren't all just one-hit touchdown plays when you're running dives, but you can get 5-6 yards every time, and I think it's pretty good. So now I'm going to show you guys some pass plays, and some of the pass plays are going to be in the same formation as the run plays because you want to be able to switch it up and run, you know, the same formation and kind of, you know, mix them up and not have them know what you're running. So out of this near close flex, it's going to be post drag, and for this we're going to run 2-man. Actually, we'll run cover 1 robber is what we'll run. So it's kind of 1-man. So right here, you have Woods, Cooks, 96 speed, Higbee over here. So Higbee is kind of a different breed in a sense. Like he's not really that great of a tight end, so it is what it is. You can kind of run different things how you want it. So maybe what I would do if I didn't like Higbee is you could block Higbee and then run Malcolm Brown on the drag. That way you have a better route runner. So basically this play, you have a couple open routes. You have this guy underneath. It depends if they're playing man or zone, obviously. But you have Cooks underneath, which I would probably sub Cooks into the deep ball just because he's the fastest. Kind of depends. So, you know, if I wanted Cooks, I would probably run him to the fastest. If I thought he was the fastest, I'd put him there. But it really depends. So you have that. Obviously, Robert Woods is not getting open at all, but you could have that. It's probably better against zone for that pass. That's really what you want to do with that play is you want to come over here on Higbee. You would either throw him on a curl or a comeback or something like that to take the safety out of it. So it's not going to work in this defense. It would have to be like cover 2 or cover 4 or something like that. And then when you run this, the safety would come down, and that's when you would throw it over top. And then also that wheel route. What you can do is if they're using that wheel route and they're playing you in man, you come like this and just throw it quick. Obviously, if they're using it because they might not run that exact play, they might be checking this mesh over the middle and things like that. Obviously, this Higbee guy is super sub, but those are pretty much easy reads, easy completions, things like that. Next up is going to be out of strong close. These two are the ones I'm going to run. Like I said, I'll run these pass plays out of these formations just to mix it up when people are thinking that, you know, you're running something else. So this is going to be, we'll run cover 1 hole, I guess. So this, what I like to do on this pass play is slant Cooks, slant Higbee, and then basically I just block everyone. So a lot of times they think it's a run play on this formation, and they will block everyone. See, I don't know why I can't speed burst on those. I must not be good at that. But they'll pretty much be bringing everyone because they think it's strong close. They think you're running it, right? So they think you're running the strong close off tackle. So you come out, you make those audibles, and then you usually have both of these guys on the slants because if they're playing man, because you're catching them off guard. You can run it stock as well if you're running. I don't really like the circle route. Circle is really if you just have a speed differential. I don't really like circle without it. Square, it at least makes a little bit of a break, so you might be able to get some yardage. As you see, like it's a lot better when you have square, you get them wide, on the slant, you get them more wide open. Pretty simple play. Like I said, this is really just to mix it up from the run. You throw a play action in there after you run on them, and then you pretty much wide open. If you have fast receivers, you'll get that space. And you can obviously do different things out of it. So if you wanted to, you can run a zig out of it just to confuse them, and then throw it right outside. You can switch it up so that the user can't read everything. It really just depends on how you want to run it, how good you are at running it, and things like that. You could run a go route with the crosser, try to clear it out for Woods. As you see, I don't like that route, how he doesn't break. I'd rather probably throw the slant. So what I would probably do right here is I'd go here, throw a slant, and then what I would maybe do if I'm running that is throw a Higbee on a drag, just so you have an extra route right there. Just that way, if they do read it, you have Higbee on a drag. So maybe throw this, or you could go Higbee on a flat route release so that he's blocking. If you wanted to release him, you could. Obviously, my line isn't holding up, so there's that. But pretty much that's how you run it. So on to the next play. Let's go ahead and get in there. What we're going to want to do is this one's going to be out of gun, tight slots, PA wide receiver seam. So there's a couple audibles you want to run out of this. For the sake of it, I'm going to run cover 1 hole again. So I'm just going to show you basically how I set it up. This is how I set it up. So you have a drag Higbee, 2 slants with Cup and Woods, and you have Cooks on the over. And then you basically just run it like this. As you see, Cooper's wide open. It's kind of hard for them to guard both sides. Whether it's man or zone, it kind of depends. When they run zone, a lot of times Woods is open on that slant because they'll come down on that actual Higbee route, and then Woods is wide open behind them. Obviously, if they're playing man, he still could be open. It just really depends on who you got speed differentials on. Obviously, in Mutt, some of the people have really fast corners, so it's a little bit different. And the good thing about this play is if they are running man and you see that they're blitzing you so that you don't have time to run those crossers, you just go like this, and then you'll probably have an out route. That linebacker actually played that really well. Usually they don't really play that well. You're expecting that linebacker to blitz where Cooper Kupp is. So obviously this out route right here, you can run it out of any play. You don't have to audible the whole play. But if you see that that safety is basically in man on Kupp, and they're blitzing everyone else, you just come here, throw that out route, and you probably could get 5 yards. Obviously, it's not really a touchdown play, but it is pretty easy to beat man, and you can run the bench on both sides, sub out players you want, and things like that. It really depends on who you want to use and, what kind of tight end and wide receivers you have and things like that. Next up, what we're going to run is gun bunch weak. And my favorite play out of here, obviously there's a lot of plays out of here, so feel free to kind of use what you want. My favorite play is going to be just deep corner. So deep corner is my favorite play. Will run. A lot of people won't play man against you if you're playing someone with what's it called? If you're playing someone that's playing gun bunch, they're probably not going to run man against you. So this is cover 4. So basically, you just want to take what the defense gives you right here. You obviously could try to fit that if you think you can make it over that backer. You could just run it stock and run an out route. Or sorry, the flat route. Try to get it. Try to get 3-4 yards. If it's like a 3rd and 2 or something like that, and they come out in that deep defense, you might have that. You probably have this in route late. You just have to wait for the timing and then probably throw it down. Okay, well, Gurley stole that. Let's block Gurley so he gets out of the way. But you could throw it down and probably get Cooks right there. So let's see. You could probably throw it in between there like that. Boom. Obviously, this is cover 4. And then you can run audibles out of this as well. So you can run Woods and let's go on a deep route. That way he gets him out of there. And then when you throw it, he's probably going to be a little bit more open because that guy has to go with Robert Woods deep. Instead of them kind of being able to watch Woods over there, you come here. And then what I could also do is maybe run him on a like a drag or let's say a curl. So what you do is you can run him on a curl. That way he either has to stay inside if he's using or he has to go outside to get Cup. If he runs with Cup with that backer, then you know you have X inside. And then what it also helps with if you do that is Cooks on this backside has one less guy guarding him. What I would probably do is run, Gurley on this curl, try to grab that backer, and then as you see, okay, I didn't mean to click that, but as you see, you had Cooks back there wide open. I meant to throw a low pass, but it didn't click. So pretty simple play, super easy to use. So pretty good out of that formation. And then next up is going to be also out of gun, and it is going to be out of spread double flex. One of my other favorite formations. It's going to be this PA comebacks. And we will see if it will work against these guys. Hopefully that safety comes up. But basically what you want to do is just run it stock. You want to see if that safety comes up, which he doesn't. If he comes up, that's what you want to throw. But you also have these comebacks. So that's why I like it. And I'll show you again. The comebacks are pretty much always there because the user is going to go with that. If he comes out and you see this formation, this user is going to think Cook's going deep every time. So you see Cooks, Cooks, Cooks. And then boom. You see how open Cooper Kupp is out there? People are worried about he's going to run Cooks, and then if he sees that the safety's running with Cooks, he's going to come grab Higbee right here. So he's going to go Cooks, Cooks, Cooks. He's going to grab Higbee, and then as you see, the side where the safety gets deeper because Cooks is going to be the open comeback. If we go ahead and look on the other side, the comeback's not going to be as open. We can still throw it timing, but it's not. It's going to be a lot harder to get in there, as you see. It's going to be way better. So let's flip it. Let's just flip it. And we'll see Woods should be more open on this one since Higbee is going deep. Personally, I don't like running it with the tight end, but as you see, he stays in with Higbee, so that's what makes this open on the outside. Obviously, it depends how the corners played. If they have really, really good corners, it might mess you up a little bit, but just running this stock, pretty easy. You could also try to fit it in there. I probably wouldn't if he's going that deep. If you have a bunch of audibles on your triangle, if you have like the extra audible routes, you could try it. Personally, I wouldn't. So that right there, I would throw a low pass if anything, but I mean, probably not the best. You're probably just better off. If you can beat him deep with Cooks, try it. A lot of times, it's like I said, the safety will run with him. So out of cover 2, cover 3, that's probably your best bet to beat the safety. Even cover 3, maybe. Cover 2, cover 4, maybe cover 3, kind of depends if they decide if that safety runs with them and those people take those outsides. But as you see, you pretty much have him super late still. Cooper Kupp stays there. So it makes it super, super easy because they're going to watch X. I'll show you. I'll try to throw X. Obviously, the defense they're playing right now, they have a lot of defense on X. And you can, you'll have time and then boom, easy if you can make time in the pocket, things like that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these money plays. Personally, I think it's best to run certain formations and run plays out of the same formation so that they don't know what plays you're running. I think it's harder to stop. But let me know what you guys think down below if you guys like these plays and if it does help you out for this weekend league. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to see more Madden 20 content like this. And as always, guys, I will see you next time.